I'm gonna start off with some cheeky intro here. Let's see what I should say. Yo, what's popping, cocky combat boys? Spelled with K's. Welcome to Mortal Kombat 2021 Power Character Tier List, where we're going to be ranking all the characters in Mortal Kombat 2021's strengths and weaknesses. And because this is such a detrimental task, I have decided to invite with me a very special guest, the legendary warrior behind the history. History Behind the Warrior.
Hi there, buddy. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate being a part of this. And can we also talk about how fantastic, each of these faces are for every single character? Must say, big fan of the Cole face. He's having a great time, clearly, if you just look at it.
Yeah, these are really fun to just capture. I wanted to capture the essence of each of these characters wonderfully. So in this video, I'm going to be ranking these characters with History Behind the Warrior, and our combined high IQ should be able to produce some big brain analysis for this tier list. When I did this about a year ago, I did this for the Mortal Kombat 11 game, and in that video, I just basically ranked characters who defeated the other character. So oh, Raiden defeated Frost, so that means Raiden's stronger than Frost, and etc, etc. But in the movie, we could see how they fight, so maybe it's not just as simple as who wins and who doesn't win, or I feel like there's gonna be more we can merit out in this video.
I definitely think that is the case. The film's a little bit more linear, I suppose, when it comes to power level. There's definitely a very distinct difference by the end of the film of who's stronger and who's definitely not in that sense. But there's going to be definitely some fluctuating power levels that we will have to talk about.
Yes, so this should be quite interesting. I want to mention slightly our tiers we have here. We got the F tier, which is the fucking whoops tier. We got the C tier for Soul Sucked, B tier for Eddie Tobias, A for the Chosen Ones, and S tier for By the Elder Gods, which sadly they don't even say in the movie, but I still wanted to buy the Elder Gods at the S tier. Alright, let's get started. So I think we should start by ranking the weakest character in this movie, at least in my opinion, and that is Cole Young.
Woo! Let's go, Cole!
Because, this is pre-Arcana Cole Young, not Arcana Cole Young. I would say he's probably the weakest character in the movie.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with that for sure.
He really doesn't win any single fight he's in. The only fight he wins is one practice match between Kung Lao. That and maybe the Reptile fight. But yeah, I think for a good baseline, putting pre-Arcana Cole Young in F tier should be alright. And then the next character, which is a really weird one in my opinion, but I think we're gonna have to put Natara into the F tier too.
Definitely, this character was literally there for cannon fodder for Kung Lao. She was look at my cool design. Shang Tsung's hyping me up. Shang Tsung's her hype man, and she's just talking shit, looking good, and then she just literally gets split in half down the middle in, what was it, 16 seconds?
Exactly.
Roughly? That's rough.
Yeah, probably. I think I counted she only has about a minute and 16 seconds in the whole movie.
Yeesh, that is rough.
Not a good time to be a Natara fan. Although I would have to assume that having wings is a little better than an MMA fighter, but I don't know. We don't know if Natara has other abilities in the movie.
We really don't.
Yeah, all she does is fly around and screech. That's it. I would say she should be stronger, but we don't know because she just flew in and died.
Yeah, though she was literally there just for the body count.
Exactly.
But I mean, if we're comparing a literal vampire with human anatomy, I'm gonna say vampire.
True. Well, at least her vitality was cool. Next up, we have Jax. Also pre-Arcana Jacks. I would probably put with arm Jacks and also puny metal arm Jacks in this category too, because they both don't beat anybody.
No, when he has his arms, he loses. When he gets his what could only be described as micro stub arms, he still loses.
Yeah.
So at that point, I'm just kind of with your arms, you didn't really have much luck. With the extra arms, you still didn't have much luck. Yeah, it's not great.
The only leeway I would give for Jax is he did hit Sub-Zero a couple of times. I don't know if that helps his case, but I mean maybe I won't put him on the lowest of F tiers. But yep, pre-Arcana Jacks is gonna be in the F tier. And the final character here, or at least in my opinion, is this character. I don't know if I want to put him in the F tier or in the C tier, because Kano. I mean, if you think about Kano, it's oh, he's kind of weak. He doesn't really do. He's kind of also the punching bag in this movie. But he does help out in the Reptile fight. He did held himself pretty good the second time fighting Sonya. And I mean, I guess you could count the fact that he threw Sonya off the cliff and lasered a rock, hit Jax and Sonya. So like, my opinion about Kano is kind of like, he doesn't seem high enough to be in C, but also he kind of barely also should escape F. I don't know. What do you think about Kano?
I would probably put him at like the lowest part of C, only for the sole fact that he was able to manifest his Arcana, unlike the other characters that are really here. Outside of that, you've pretty much like hit the nail on the head here. It's like, he killed Reptile, okay, kinda cool. He held his own against Sonya for the first round, but outside of that, he is for the most part just like comedic relief. So I feel like that is the stronger part of his character than him actually being intrinsically like an action-based character. But like I said, he did manifest his Arcana, so it kind of puts him above like small arm Jax, dead Natara, and choked out Cole Young. But it's a very, very like thin gray line.
Exactly. I was thinking about either the highest of F or the lowest of C.
Yeah.
I'll be nice to the funny man. He is my favorite character in the movie, so why not? Alright, so on to the C tier characters. Basically, C tier, the Soul Suck tier is for like characters who probably has like defeated like another character, so that way you can at least advance to C tier. And the first one we have will be Reiko, because Reiko does smash his hammer onto Puny Arms Jax. Hence why he deserves to be in C tier.
I love when we just call him like Punarm Jacks.
Yeah, pretty much. Do they come in men's size, as Kano says? And then the second C tier, oh, this one's gonna piss you off, but I have nowhere else to put this character. The second C tier character probably is Goro, actually.
You know what hurts? It's that you're right. Yeah, this character was so horribly underused in like the entire thing. He was just like the plot catalyst for Cole, and he just so happens to be one of the most important and pivotal characters in the series' legacy. So I'm just kind of like, this character's Goro in name only. I don't know what was going on the entire time.
Yeah. The champion of Mortal Kombat for 500 years dies before the Mortal Kombat tournament.
Oh, dear lord, he does.
But the only reason I would put him on F is because if Cole Young didn't manifest his Arcana, he'd probably win that fight. At least he defeats a peasant, so he gets to still at least be in the Soul Suck tier. And this one's tricky. I don't really know if he deserves to be here, but the next one I've got is Kung Lao. Kung Lao in the movie does seem pretty good. For the most part, he's here because, well, he kills Natara, and he also beats up Cole Young. But other than that, it's like we don't really have more to go off of this character. Like, I would assume Kung Lao is pretty good. Like, he could maybe even be in the Eddie Tobias tier, but like, from what we can see in the movie, all he did was defeat F tier characters. So we can't really, I don't know, do you have any points for Kung to maybe be bumping up to Eddie Tobias?
It's really weird. So I think that on paper and how he's written, he could be an Eddie Tobias tier, but the problem is that the film doesn't do a great job. It's like the phrase show don't tell, but all they show is of him beating up like the lower level characters, whereas the entire time like you get Raiden and you get Liu Kang basically talk about how Kung Lao's just like such hot shit, how he's like the representative of Earthrealm, the White Lotus, and his legendary like background, and he's dead. So to me, I'm just kind of like, you guys talked a lot with this character, and it just kind of left him to what, basically literally get his soul sucked.
Yep.
My feelings on how Kung Lao was used in this film was literally just like it just disappears like that.
Yeah, people liked Kung Lao in the film.
He's really cool.
I mean, he's cool. But now he's just like, yep, that's it. You can chop up Natara and then just see you later.
Don't worry, just you wait for that sequel.
Oh yeah. I mean, the actor, he tweeted something like, a person never really is gone, their soul, or something like that. Like, he might return in the future.
That's how you know this man is a Mortal Kombat fan. Even he knows that when you die, you don't actually die.
I think I'm totally fine with Kung Lao being in this tier because it's too poetic to put Kung Lao in the Soul Suck tier.
Yeah, you know what? I could put it back myself.
So So this next one I think is a little interesting one too, is Sonia Blade. Kano is not in the F tier, so technically speaking, Sonia could be in the B tier because she beats up Kano. I don't know, but I don't know. I feel like she's more on a B tier in my opinion. But I mean, if we're going off of just if you beat somebody, you get to be above them, she could be in the B tier. The other thing that I have to think about for Sonia that's a little bit more complicated in my opinion is like, eventually when I rank Molina, because Molina beats Sonia, so technically speaking, she should be stronger than Sonia. But then Sonia like just comes back, does a flip, and then like blasts her in the back and then wins.
Yeah.
But does that mean Sonia like defeated Molina, or was that just kind of a cheap shot?
I feel like it's a question between pre and post Arcana manifestation. I feel like that's probably the only way we could kind of work around this in some way, because there definitely are like 2-on-1 fights in this film, and that's definitely one that ends up being a 2-on-1 fight.
Yeah, I guess. Oh yeah, maybe I should have made like 2 Sonias, but the reason I didn't because it's just like it's just one move, one time, and that's it and that's all she did in the movie. I meant for Sonia's like Arcana ability.
Yeah, I mean you gotta put it in the trailer somehow, right?
Oh yeah, I still can't believe they just revealed that. Everybody knew it going to the movie now that Molina's gonna die to Sonia.
Some of the trailers really gave away like 90% of the deaths of the film. Like, oh, this is a lot. This is a lot you're showing.
Yeah. Although I would say the Battle of the Realms trailer, I feel like that gave a lot too.
Oh, it did.
In terms of like who's probably gonna die and stuff.
It's given too much away too soon. They don't know how to cut trailers, which is a shame. Because I'm like, I've seen everything.
I hope that means they're hiding things, but yeah, I'm just like, I just don't want to watch any more Battle of the Realm related stuff. But yeah, anyways, so Sonia I guess could be Eddie Tobias because she defeats Kano.
Yeah, I'd agree with that placement. I feel like that's quite fine, honestly. I'd put her like lower B side, all things considered.
Yeah, because in my mind I always had her at C because I thought Kano would be more in an F, but I think this is fine. So now this character, in fact these 2 characters I think is a very interesting ones, and I think we can rank them both. That being Cabal and Liu Kang. Technically speaking, these 2 characters are really strong, but in the movie, the only characters they fight are each other.
That is a good point, actually. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, like technically speaking, like a speedster should be like pretty good. Would you say that Cabal won the first fight, or like that just ended prematurely, so we don't really know who wins that?
I'd say it's definitely premature, considering that when they actually go toe-to-toe against each other, it is Liu Kang that does technically win the interaction. So I would arguably put Liu above Cabal in that sense, mostly because like the outcome of that fight, because their first skirmish is basically a battle royale. At that point, everyone's fighting everyone.
True.
So that makes a little bit more sense for the narrative.
You could say Sub-Zero also dodged Liu Kang's fireball and then shot a nice ball to him and then was about to kill Liu Kang, making Sub-Zero stronger than Liu Kang, but Sub-Zero will be like very high up, so that doesn't really matter in the tier list. How we treat Cabal, we'll just put Liu Kang like above. If Cabal is F, Liu Kang would be like above him. But like, I don't think Cabal is an F. I would assume Cabal is a C, because, you know, I mean, I would assume running fast makes you have an edge.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
I feel like having speedster-like abilities on paper is the most ridiculous thing, because you can do anything if you run at the speed of sound.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's one of those things where it works on paper, but in film it's just like you have to limit what that character can do.
Yeah, I would imagine Cabal is stronger than pre-Arcana Ko-Young and Jax.
Oh, definitely.
So with that in the way, I would say at least he could be a C. Like, probably. I guess he would be around here, maybe. We don't know if he's that strong, but yeah, I think this is fine. Next, we're going to focus more on the Eddie Tobias tier stuff. So first character, congratulations, Ko-Young, you are not the weakest now because you have unlocked your Aquaman suit. So he gets to be in the Eddie Tobias tier.
Man, what a literal living sense of plot armor, right?
Exactly.
God bless. I actually don't mind this character too much because the film's format works in favor of him.
Possibly.
But dear lord, this man, like, he kills Goro like nothing, and I'm like,
That's why he's in Eddie Tobias.
To be fair, the film is structured around like the hero's journey and how he's the center of it, and Mortal Kombat is just so like circulating around him, which is why, yeah, it works for the film. But he still killed Goro like nothing. So I'm like,
I saw your review and you say that it's a good action movie, but it's not a really good Mortal Kombat film. And I can definitely see that for like Ko Young especially. I would say, yeah, that's about all Ko Young with Arcana does. I'll mention more about him when we talk about Sub-Zero, but like he gets to be in Tobias because he kills Goro. Next we have Arcana Jacks, which is just basically cooler arms Jacks. This guy holds Reiko's hammer, sucking his life essence, and then defeats Reiko. Something like that.
Honestly, that's probably the best way to put it. Like, that's Reiko in this film, again, much like Natara and just some of the other characters.
Goro.
Like, yeah, like characters in name only in that sense. So I'm just kind of like, what you do with Reiko? Jax, waste him. Do it now. Do it. And Amanda's just like happy to oblige.
I really think a lot of the Outworld characters just name drop K-Bye kind of a situation. Would you think he's stronger than like Liu Kang or Sonia?
Probably say that. In that sense, maybe Jax might be physically stronger, but we don't know if he's like as capable as a hand-to-hand fighter.
Yeah.
Plus, he can't summon a fire dragon, so
that's true.
Definitely above him.
Although I would still say Arcana Ko Young might be the strongest, just because he can literally take like a giant arm, like smashing him like 10 times and still be absolutely fine and look gorgeous. So I would assume that that durability makes him really strong.
Well, my man is basically wearing what can only be described as like the chest torso part of the Black Panther suit.
Yes.
It's insane with how it's designed, so I can't say I'm too surprised, because if you got body armor that basically absorbs any form of kinetic energy, which you can like put it out, you're doing really well for yourself, regardless of what the rest of your teammates are doing.
Absolutely. I think we basically made all the 3 Twitter jokes that is mentioned about Ko Young's armor: the Aquaman suit, the plot armor, and the Black Panther suit. That's the 3 jokes that I keep hearing about Ko Young's armor.
This poor man. This poor man.
So next we're gonna be moving on to the Chosen Ones. These are probably like actually legit pretty strong, especially because of the tier list that we've formatted, so they should be pretty good. First character I have here, I guess I'll go Reptile first. The thing about Reptile, in my opinion, and why he's all the way up here is because, theoretically speaking, he doesn't defeat anybody and he gets killed off. However, it was a 3v1. And at the same time, I'm pretty sure there was a certain part in the fight for each of the characters that if somebody didn't save them, they would have died. If like Kano didn't like come out and fight, Ko Young and Sonia would have died. If Sonia didn't throw the knife at Reptile, Kano would have been eaten and stuff like that. So technically speaking, Reptile is stronger than each of those characters, Kano, Ko Young, and Sonia. And because he's stronger than Sonia, he's in Chosen One.
That is fair. I can understand that. My one thing is with that, does it come down to him being a strong fighter, or does it come down to like his utility in his toolkit? Because for a portion of the fight, don't forget, there's a lot of him being invisible, and mostly the reason as to why they weren't really able to land a hit on him, but once he did become visible is when it, was in their favor.
True.
So that's the big question, because like he does have a great toolkit, and being able to spit acid, as we have realistically seen in this film, does do a lot of damage as it burns away like Kano's shackles.
Yes, it helped the good guys more, but it technically could be damaging to them too.
It's a weird hazy one.
I would say, yeah, Reptile is kind of strong technically speaking. If he were in a 1v1 situation, I think it would be pretty good for him.
Oh, definitely. If he wasn't tagged and then turned visible, he probably would have killed all 3 of them.
So even though he's kind of a shafted character in this movie, at least we put him pretty high up on the tier list. So I'm kind of happy. I'm a Reptile fan, so I'm happy about that aspect. So next up we have Molina. Now the tricky thing about Molina is, technically speaking, she should be in the Chosen One because she does win against Sonia. However, the other 2 fights to take into consideration is her fight with Arcana Ko Young and her just getting like blasted, backstabbed by Sonia. And those are the 2 like things that I feel like need to be put into consideration. Like, would you say like Arcana Ko Young was stronger than Molina?
So that's the weird part. So we got to take into consideration that it did end up turning into a 2-on-1 fight.
At the very end, yes.
Cole fighting Molina for a while it seemed to have been quite back and forth up until the end. but I would definitely put Molina above Cole, because Cole, at the end of that fight, basically asked for help from Sonya in order to finish Molina.
Little help?
Yeah, literally that. Literally that. So I'm just kind of like, yeah, it kind of makes sense for her to be above it, but we also got to keep in mind that, judging from what we saw in the film, her armor must literally be made of tissue paper. She took one shot, and then that was it. It's like, nope, dead, and she's gone.
Yeah, you got like other characters who can probably take a shot and like just move backwards. I guess maybe Sonya's, I forgot what that ability is called. The Pink Blaster is a very strong penetrating ability or something like that.
Yeah, but that's the crazy thing, right? We only see the Ring Blast ever get used once in this film, so it's hard to kind of measure how it stacks with the red. Like, if she just has that as a general ability, like, she's gonna be unstoppable regardless.
Technically speaking, yeah. I mean, I would say like Kano's laser should be really strong, but like he's never hit anybody with it. So we don't really know how that would go too. The thing about Molina right now is I think under the same situation in Kano, it's either the lowest A or like the highest B. I feel like it's one of those that we could put her into there.
Yeah.
I'm not really too sure where we should put her. Should we think about realistically speaking, or should we think about the Molina stands?
I'm always against the stand, so B.
Oh, okay. You're going Eddie Tobias there. Sorry about that, Molina.
Yeah, I've seen what you people clap at. It feeds me.
The warrior has spoken. Now we are on to the poster boys of the film, Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Both probably very OP. Sub-Zero is gotta be really OP because he defeats pre-Arcana Jacks, so at least C. And also, if Cole Young didn't like summon his ancestor Stan to come out and like save him, Sub-Zero would have killed Arcana Cole Young. He is in the chosen one for sure.
Oh, he's probably, out of all of the main fighters here, Sub-Zero's definitely who I would consider to be the strongest, because
yeah,
he wastes pretty much everyone. And again, much like the whole Molina situation, as well as like the 2-on-1 situation, it takes the combined efforts of Scorpion and Cole Young in order to actually put him down. So, to me, I'm just kind of like, yeah, this guy is kind of built like a brick shit house, and he's really cool in this film.
Yeah, I think Sub-Zero definitely gets the biggest W in this film because of like how much of a big menace, like Terminator type character he is in the film, basically. Now as for like Scorpion, I actually was thinking because like, is Scorpion stronger or weaker than Sub-Zero? Because in the fight, it is a 2v1. I'm not really taking into consideration the very beginning of the movie when they were fighting back in like the 16th, 15th century. I feel like that's also like a different character too, because now they have like more mature ice abilities and Scorpion has more fire abilities and stuff like that.
That is fair, but you also got to take into mind as well what was a really interesting bit of attention to detail, and I missed it at my first viewing, was during the first interaction in the forest, of course, like, Sub-Zero gets his face cut open when Hanzo misses the throwing the spear and pulls it back.
Yeah.
The second time they fight, he catches it, remember?
I love that callback, yeah.
It's literally like learning the matchup against someone. It's having knowledge of the previous fight, so...
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I would say there's definitely some differences there, but maybe the core is a little bit the same in that sense. Just additional abilities. Like a variation system of sorts, one might say.
Yeah. But that's a really good point, actually. I feel like that battle experience should be taken into consideration. Because, like, okay, obviously Sub-Zero is stronger in the past, like, when they fought the first time. But the second time, I feel like, I don't know, actually. I would assume he is a little weaker than Sub-Zero. But at the same time, I don't think Scorpion really took too much of a hit in that fight. Yeah. In general, at least.
Like, the worst he took was he got hit once by an ice sword and got stabbed and thrown through a wall and frozen in the cage. But I think that's
Yeah,
it?
I remember that. Well, if I were to think about it, maybe being frozen in the cage, because then like Sub-Zero goes to like fight Cole Young. Maybe if Sub-Zero went to just kill Scorpion, he would have won? I don't think so.
It's hard.
This is tough. I really can't tell. I really can't tell who's stronger in this aspect.
It's a case of like, what if? And like, there's a lot of different variables with how the film kind of works and circulate. So, I don't know. It's a hard one to say, but it's like, just due to the sole fact that the end of the film had a 2-on-1 fight scenario, I would give it over to Bi-Han.
Yeah, I think we can agree that probably Sub-Zero, at least from what we're seeing, is a little bit stronger than Scorpion in this film, but just a little bit. Okay, now we're on to the final characters. So the first question mark character we've got here, which basically is like in my opinion, more like an unknown type character, and that would be Shang Tsung. Because all he does in the film is he teleports the Outworld characters and he sucks one character's soul. That's it. Technically speaking, he's super strong, but I don't know. I don't think we can really rank it based off of that, actually.
It's really like this is probably the hardest one there, along with Raiden actually in that sense, because they both play mediator roles.
Yeah.
They don't really do much outside of like. They don't do anything besides be there to basically flex, but we don't know how strong they are. Like, it's literally a flexing match between the two at the end, but it's hard to... Again, it's one of those things where it's hard to scale how strong they are when they've done so little with what they have had.
Yes. Technically speaking, like, Shang should be very strong, but, like, we don't know. Perhaps in the next movie he gets defeated by, like, Ko Young or something like that, which will then instantly bump him down to the Eddie Tobias tier. But yeah, I'm not too sure. That's why I made the question mark tier for him. But as for Raiden, in my opinion at least, I think Raiden has already shown enough to be by the Elder Gods tier, because like he doesn't use like lightning attacks or anything like that. All he does is like teleport, but that thing is very OP in the movie. Well, I mean, okay, he teleports the fighters anywhere he wants in the movie, anytime he really wants to. But most importantly, he can teleport you mid-sentence. That's exactly what he did to like Shang Tsung. So like if you pit him up with any of these characters, he will instantly win. He'll just get out of my face.
Yeah.
But technically speaking, he should be like the strongest based off of that alone.
Definitely. That's the thing, right? Like, the really crazy thing was, and it's kind of a plot hole if you think about it, considering this is all like before the Mortal Kombat tournament, what's kind of just stopping him from teleporting everyone an Outworld into just like a volcano?
Yes.
Just like, and it's done. Like, there's no fight, there's no issue, there's no tournament. We've won. Got rid of them. Because remember, he can't do anything directly, but if they fall into a volcano...
yeah, accidentally, you know.
Yeah, accidents happen. So, he got dropped into a volcano out of nowhere. It's like, sounds like he has a problem with gravity. Clearly not my fault.
Nature's selection. Yeah. So yeah, technically speaking, Raiden should be very, very strong. That's the base tier list. Oh my goodness, I just noticed we kind of created like a pyramid.
Oh my god, yeah.
It literally is like a pyramid, like a nice triangle. What a balanced tier list, like what a balanced movie of characters. However, I will now be adding on to some of these more troll characters. Well, I wouldn't say troll, I would say more, you probably like wouldn't notice or wouldn't really care about characters. And that's gonna be like the final characters we're gonna be ranking here. So the first one is Johnny Cage. Citizen Cage poster guy. How strong would you imagine he would be, like, in the movie?
Ooh, that's a hard one to say. So, it generally comes down to my own interpretation and guesstimation of what we could see and what comes from the games that will transition over into the film.
Yeah.
Now, considering that we know that unfortunately the green energy of Johnny Cage also does what is like a pseudo form of plot armor, that could work to his favor. So that could probably put him in Chosen One's tier, honestly, because if you have god-slaying capabilities, you know, I feel like that beats out Black Panther armor by a mile.
I would say it's the same as like Ko Young or like Jax, where like he's probably gonna suck without his Arcana, but once he awakens his Arcana, oh, he's gonna like take on Kentaro or something like that.
It would not surprise me at all. I know it's really hard to just guesstimate off a picture, but considering he is like main character, main hero cast material, I think a safe bet would probably be like throwing him into a Chosen One tier.
That actually is, well, considering the tier list we made, pretty high. I personally would think he would be around like where Arcana Ko Young is, at least. And then I'm pretty sure Arcana Ko Young will be in the Chosen One, like in the next movie or something too, probably.
Oh, he'll creep up there. Just you wait.
Oh yeah, I'm honestly hoping that the more he uses it, the more like armor grows onto him. This is another detail in the movie I never caught until later on. He grows like the tonfa and the weapons on his arms because of the amount of like energy he has like absorbed from getting hit by Goro. It's like you see the energy like bloop, 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 going to like his arms. So like I would imagine as long as he just keeps getting hit, he's eventually gonna get a whole suit, like with the leg part and maybe even a cool mask or something like that. That's what I hope at least. I think the suit alone is a little underwhelming if that's the case.
Yeah, like I like the design of it, but I feel like a full set would definitely look much better.
Now with that being said, Johnny Cage going to the question mark tier. Next up we have is, you know who this is, right? You know this legendary fighter, right? Yeah, right? This dude?
I honest to God can't even remember the dude's name in the movie.
He's called Reeves? Reeves? Keanu Reeves? No. Ramirez. I think that's what he's called, yes.
Ramirez.
Remember the name Ramirez, for he is the one who defeated the legendary Cole Young, or pre-Arcana Cole Young, but still he defeated Cole Young, which makes him stronger than Natara and Jacks based off of our tier list.
Wow, you know the Natara fans are really feeling it now, right?
Yeah. The last ones we've got here is we've got Allison and Emily, Cole Young's wife and daughter. Emily literally did nothing in the film at all, so we gotta put her at F. I mean, technically speaking, she didn't get defeated, so she should be a little stronger than Cole Young. But Allison does slightly help out the pre-Arcana Cole Young fight, because like it wasn't Goro versus Cole Young, it was a little bit of Goro versus Cole Young and Allison in that end fight there. She did give the axe and she did drive a car.
That is true, but you gotta forget the one power that the two do share that was helped by Cole. Plot armor. Twice.
Yeah.
Twice. They survived the Goro one only to get captured by Sub-Zero, who, might I add, killed Hanzo's family, so there was no reason for them being alive by the end of the film, and they still survived at the end of it. So I'm just kind of like, these people are impenetrable. You can't stop them.
Exactly. I just thought about something. Emily does give the bracelet to Cole Young, hence manifesting his Arcana. I would assume he wouldn't be able to manifest it without that bracelet, because it does like, the animation does show like it grows from the bracelet. So there is that helpfulness of Emily in the film. Watch Allison and Emily become like a character in a future film. Like, I can see it honestly. Because Allison has held like an axe in the movie, she's gonna become the female Nightwolf in the movie series or something like that.
Hey man, with the power of family, you can do anything apparently now.
Shao Kahn may be strong, but he's not as strong as family.
Why can I imagine Vin Diesel like flying his car from the stratosphere into Shao's Coliseum on top of him now? It's like a shooting star.
Warner Brothers, make it happen. Mortal Kombat, Fast and Furious movie. Mortal Furious, or how would they name it? Like the Furious Combat? That sounds a little cooler. Furious Combat, something like that. Speaking of amazing, indestructible cars, we have our final character in the list. That is a 2007 model Chevrolet. Which is, that's the car that Jax drove in the movie. The only thing that I could base off of why I'm even ranking this magnificent being into this tier list is because this car withstood the hailstorm that Sub-Zero threw down in the city when he like ambushed Cole Young's family. It took the damage and it was completely fine. The people on the street were not, but this car made it through. Hence why the 2007 Chevrolet car model is stronger than Sub-Zero.
Well, if you think about it, the Chevrolet handled ice a lot better than Hanzo did, because Hanzo did die to ice, as well as Jax's arms, as well as Cole. So, technically, it's canon now.
Put it in the next NetherRealm game. Come on, guys. And also, you gotta remember, if it were Vin Diesel who's driving this car, I bet he would be absolutely fine taking on like Raiden. So we got this guy. This Chevrolet should be an S tier. This Chevrolet is an Elder God, basically. And there we have it. That's the Mortal Kombat 2021 tier list. We turn it from a triangle to now like a 4, like an opposite 4, I guess. Which isn't too bad, I guess.
Yeah, it's a flipped 4. Flipped 4.
Any final thoughts? Any final things you wanna say about this magnificent list of characters?
Honestly, it's actually pretty on point, because the thing is that we've gone in detail pretty damn well with all of the fights and like the variables that have gone on. So I think this is a pretty damn solid tier list, all things considered.
Yeah.
Except the Chevrolet, like that deserves a tier list in itself. But
Indeed, that should be like above the S tier.
it was pretty accurate. We can't get it perfect, but pretty accurate.
Although I will say, if compared to like game lore, I think there would be some adjustments. Like, you know, Goro wouldn't be there. As much as people like Sub-Zero and Scorpion, I don't think they would be that high. And Reptile, I don't think they would be that high too. But yeah, overall, like as based off the movie, I think this is pretty neat. It's pretty okay.
I'd say it's pretty damn on point, all things considered.
Thank you so much for joining me on this funny ranking video, Mr. History.
The pleasure's all mine. Thank you for having me on. I had a lot of fun doing this.
Awesome. Where can the people find you?
So if you want to find me, I am on YouTube at HistoryBehindTheWarrior. If you wish to follow me on my Instagram, which I never use, it's HBTWarrior. And if you want to follow and get up to all of my shenanigans, including my casting for Mortal Kombat, you can find me on Twitter at HBTheWarrior, because someone took HBTWarrior on Twitter and has not been active since 2007. I hate it. But once again, dude, thank you very much.
2007?
Yeah, it's not been great.
Wow.
The man's a fiend. I need it.
Get all the lawyers onto that. Get the Chevrolet onto that person. Also, if any of you want to make your own tier list, I will put the links to this in the description. Thank you all so much for watching. And how do you usually do your outros?
Please comment, like, subscribe, and share this video with everyone you know. Before this video, yeah, was it? Do it on the fly. Doing it on the fly.
Remember the line.
Spells, details. For this video wraps up, let's try getting to about 500 likes.
Can this video get 500 likes? Thank you very much.
Yeah. As always, guys, please comment, like, subscribe, and share this video with everyone you know. Please take care, and we'll see you all in the next video.
Bye bye. Yeah, got the History Behind the Warrior outro for the video.
Hey.